Israel just rewrote the rulebook of West Asian geopolitics. In the past 72 hours, it has carried out strikes in 6 countries: Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Tunisia, Yemen, and for the very first time, Qatar. Think about it. Qatar, home to America's CENTCOM base and supposedly shielded by Washington's umbrella, yet Israel struck a Hamas meeting in Doha, killed the son of a senior Hamas leader, and walked away untouched.
That said, governments cannot give harbor to terrorists. Well, yesterday, we acted along those lines. We went after the terrorist masterminds who committed the October 7th massacre. And we did so in Qatar, which gives safe haven. It harbors terrorists. It finances Hamas. It gives its terrorist chieftains sumptuous villas. It gives them everything.
If Israel can bomb next to an American base, the question is obvious. Who is next? And Turkey fears it may be the next target. On September 10, Israeli jets targeted a Hamas leadership compound in Doha. 6 people died, including the son of Khalil al-Hayya, Hamas's political leader, his office director, 3 bodyguards, and a Qatari security officer. Top Hamas leaders survived, but the message was clear. Israel can reach anywhere, even in a country that hosts US troops, even in a country that hosting ceasefire talks at the very moment.
And I say to Qatar and all nations who harbor terrorists, you either expel them or you bring them to justice. Because if you don't, we will.
It was Israel's first ever strike in Qatar, and it set alarm bells ringing across the region, especially in Ankara. Within hours, Turkey's Defense Ministry spokesperson Admiral Zeki Akturk accused Israel of reckless attacks that could drag the entire region into disaster. Turkey is nervous, and for good reason. Hamas leaders frequently travel to Turkey. Some even live there. And Israel has long accused Ankara of allowing Hamas to recruit, fundraise, and plan operations on its soil. Erdogan makes no secret of his position. He calls Hamas freedom fighters. He compares Netanyahu to Hitler, and he's preparing to attend an Arab Muslim summit in Qatar after the Doha strike. So here's the hook. If Israel believes Hamas leaders are hiding in Turkey, could Ankara be the next battlefield? Okay, so why Israel might target Turkey? Let's connect the dots. Israel has already struck in Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, Tunisia, and now Qatar. Each time it has justified the attack as targeting Hamas or its allies. Turkey offers both Hamas safe havens and political backing. Israel may not risk a direct airstrike on Turkish soil. After all, Turkey is a NATO member. But covert operations, assassinations, drone strikes, disguised as deniable, those are entirely possible. Remember, Israel assassinated Iranian nuclear scientists in Tehran. It killed Hamas leaders in Dubai and Malaysia. Why not Turkey? But here's where the story takes a sharp turn. Unlike Qatar, Turkey is not a small Gulf monarchy. It is a NATO's second largest military power after the United States. If Israel were to strike inside Turkey, Ankara could invoke Article 4 of the NATO treaty, demanding consultation, collective security, and maybe even protection. Would NATO step in against Israel? Highly unlikely, but the very act of invoking Article 4 would trigger a diplomatic earthquake. It would put Washington, Brussels, Tel Aviv on the spot. So what's Erdogan's strategy and how he's going to prepare? On the military side, he has inaugurated Turkey's new steel dome air defense system. He has accelerated the Khan 5th generation fighter jet project that might take a few years. He has boosted missile production and expanded naval patrols in Mediterranean. On the diplomatic side, Turkey is quietly talking to Israel about a so-called de-escalation mechanism. It is exploring a military pact with Syria, ironic given Erdogan once wanted Assad gone. And it is shoring up ties with Qatar, Iran, and Arab states, building a bloc of resistance. Meanwhile, Israel is expanding its partnership too. It is courting Greece and Cyprus, both bitter rivals of Turkey. It is deepening its footprint in Mediterranean, and in Syria, it has seized part of the UN buffer zone, claiming to protect the Druze minority. So you see the chessboard. Israel on one side, projecting power with impunity. Turkey on the other, trying to build defenses and allies. The risk of a direct clash may still be low, but the risk of covert operations, assassination, and accidental escalation, the risk just went up. And here's the larger question. Qatar thought its ties with United States made it untouchable. They didn't. Turkey may think NATO membership shields it. It may not. Because Israel is showing there are no red lines, no sanctuary too far, no ally too scared. If Israel believes Hamas is hiding, it will strike in Gaza, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Yemen, even in Doha, and perhaps one day even in Turkey. So Turkey has two choices, as you see, to confront Israel head-on or to keep balancing with deterrence and diplomacy. But the Qatar strike proved one thing beyond doubt. In West Asia today, no one is truly safe, and not even under America's shadow, not even inside NATO. And if Israel ever does test Turkey, the consequences could be catastrophic, not just for Ankara, not just for Tel Aviv, but for the entire region. I'm Shom Tiwari and you're watching The News Point. Until next time.